Hi, it's Gadget UK here again. This time I'm looking at my Xbox 360 controller again. Now, I did a video on this previously, and on that video I was going to touch upon the problem I had. I'd mentioned a problem where I think it was not recentering or something. You know, you'd press up and it would stay going up. You'd have to sort of hit down a few times before it would center. And it's worth mentioning, this 360 pad, control pad has been like this since I got it. I got it brand new, and the first week I had it, I noticed that it was doing that. In fact, the first day, as soon as I played the first game on it, I noticed it was doing it. But it was always very minor, but just recently it's got really major, where it does it all the time. You've got to really pull down in order to get it to self-center again. And I want to play some the new Metal Slug XX on there. And of course, you know, it's kind of a D-pad based game, so the slightest little inaccuracy in the centering here results in you going, you know, pointing upwards all the time, and it's just driving me nuts. So anyway, what I've done is I've ordered a couple of these spare thumbsticks. So as you can see, it's a complete assembly here. You've got the little button down there. You could swap that out separately actually if you ever had a problem. It might be a bit tricky due to the way this is all mounted here. You'd probably have to pull this white piece off the bottom or something, I think. Might be difficult to do, but anyway, yeah, it's a separate button, which I didn't realise it was part of this assembly. So as you push the stick down, you can see it pushes the little switch there. Anyway, that's not the problem with mine. The problem with mine is, like I say, it's not centering right. So perhaps, you know, you can see you've got there's a little bit of I don't know if it's copper or something inside there. And it's a plastic fitting as well. You know, the whole fitting itself is like a plastic thing in there, and I suspect it's the plastic that helps it go back into position, as well as that metallic sort of spring like thing there, the copper looking thing. It probably isn't copper, it looks a bit like copper, but anyway, so what we'll do is I've got to strip this down, find wherever the left hand thing is inside there, get to the board, desolder it and put this one on. So let's get the lid off. Right, so I've got the 6 or 7 screws off the back here. I've covered this before in previous videos, so you might want to watch that if you want to know how to get in these, but generally I think there's just one hidden one there and all the others are visible. It's like 7 screws roughly. One of the things I like about this, looking back at this compared to the video I did recently on the Xbox One controller, you'll notice you've got little connectors here. You know, Microsoft been stingy on the design of the Xbox One controllers. They're much more disposable, whereas, you know, like I said, these have got little connectors there, so you can disconnect the motors. You don't have to have them swinging around and all the rest of it, which I do really like. It's going to make this a lot easier. I can just put these out of the way, not worry about the wires breaking off and stuff. So I'm not sure how this board's held in here. I think it's just loosely held in under its own weight by the looks of things. I don't see any screws. I can't remember having taken this board out previously. I don't think I have. I'm not sure how to get that out actually. I've definitely been in here before because I obviously did the thumbsticks. So yeah, I'm not sure. And you can see it's supported by that post there, so you've got to somehow pull this out. Whether you've got to separate this grey bit here, yeah, I think you do. Yeah, oh, there we go. Right, it's just stuff all over the bloody place. So let's just put that to the side, take these off, get them off. God, those are stuck on. Yeah, so you can see replacing the shoulder buttons would be relatively easy on these as well, because they are. This, again, it's a standard. It's very much like the Xbox One arrangement there, actually. If you're wondering, because I didn't actually show the internal of that, I just showed the fact that I took the old one out, but you've got this bracket here just the same, and you can see it's attached with 2 little notches on the back, just the same as the Xbox One. The only difference of the Xbox One, instead of them being at the back here, which is most logical, because when you press the button, you're pressing it like that kind of thing. On the Xbox One, they're at 45 degrees, sort of over here somewhere, the button is facing that way, as the blade of the screwdriver goes. So, you know, with the angle you're pressing it, you're clicking the button at a sort of a funny angle, which is why they don't last on the Xbox One. Anyway, so this is the one that needs to come off. So if we just flip underneath, you're going to have to pull off this, I think, here. That's going to be interesting. Yeah, so there's just a plastic clip there, I think. have to carefully sort of try and push that through the board. God, it's not going to be easy. Let's just use a little flat blade here just to help with that. Yeah, you can see the little clips around the edges here. There's one there, look. The danger here is they could break if you put too much force onto them. Looks like it's just those two, actually. There's that one and that one. So it's looking suspiciously like you've got to remove that to me. It seems pretty well embedded within this plastic fitting, so I'm going to have to desolder those 3 points there in order to get this whole piece off, I think. So as you can see, just using the desolder pump there, managed to clear all the solder off those, and it just fell straight off. This just fell straight off. There's hardly anything holding it on really, other than perhaps those two clips. They don't take much for it to come off. Just a word of warning though, can you see there's two capacitors there? Very, very, very close, so just be careful you don't solder from the wrong angle and catch these and remove one of those from the board. It's a similar thing up here. You've got a couple of 4 SMD components there, look like resistors and caps and stuff. Very, very, very small. It'll be very easy to dislodge one of those if you just move the iron in the wrong place. So I'll clean this up with a bit of isopropyl and stuff, but now we can access this, so I can desolder all the points around there and remove that. So I'm not going to show all of this. I'm just going to show a couple of the main points here. If I'll just heat that one with add a bit of solder and flux first. It's got quite large blobs of solder on that to start with actually, so you don't need much. Heat it for long enough, then use the desolder pump. Can you see that? That looks pretty clean. Sometimes it's worth just going over them a second time, just heat them up again. Same thing, that's pretty free there now. So I'll just do the same on all the smaller points so you can see that. Let's just check the profile of this actually. Yeah, there's 4 there, so let's do one of these ones again. Add some fresh solder containing flux. Heat it for long enough to let it travel through. There you go, you can see that's nice and clean. Hopefully that's very visible. So I'll get the remaining ones done and get it off there. So once you've removed all the solder there and you've made sure the pins are free, you know, just try and push them a little bit on each side just to make sure they're snapped off from the edges of the solder there. Just put your flat screwdriver underneath and just gently, if you can, just prise it like that, and you can see this is actually just coming off here without any effort at all. In fact, I can tell that's just going to come straight off. There's next to nothing holding that on, so that's okay. So I'll just get a cotton bud with some isopop, clean up all around there, inspect it, because there are some very small SMD components there. Just want to make sure they're still on there, I've not removed anything, and then we'll get the new one on. There we go, so all cleaned up, got the new one with the green pots and things back on there. So I just need to just get a bit of solder, and the best way to do this is just to tack one corner. Start with something like that, the top corner there, just get a bit of solder and flux onto there, heat it for long enough. But now hold the board from this side, but push with your fingers underneath there, just so it's totally flat. Wait for it to cool down, and then do the exact same thing with the opposite corner, the opposite end there. Let's just heat that up. Careful, because it's not easy to balance this with a camera as well. And then do the same thing. Hold it from underneath and press with your thumb at the same time as you heat that pin, just to make sure it's totally flat. That's it. And then just inspect, just to make sure that it's totally flat on there, it's level, everything's lined up properly, and then you can just solder the remaining points. So there we go, the new one's soldered on there, I've cleaned it all up, so yeah, and it looks pretty straight. So we should be good to go. I'll reassemble it now and we'll test it. So I've just got a couple of screws holding it together there. I'll show you if I resume the game, use the Analogue stick here. You'll see, if you can see Marco, you know, looks upwards. Previously was looking upwards all the bloody time. It's only when you push up now on there, and obviously every direction works fine, all the buttons work fine. So yeah, thanks for watching, I'll see you soon.